Everyone, I hope you're all doing great today. So, as promised, today we are not playing Alpha Legion and we're not playing Alpha Legionary nor Alpharius. So, as of today, this is the list that we are not going to be using. I call it TikTok on the clock, and it's kind of a new idea I had. It's a mix between a filthy trap deck and a regular Alpha Legion deck. So, my idea here is that actually what wins the game as a trap deck is only Seeds of Betrayal, combined with Infiltration, and your opponent's deck runs out. So I kind of wanted to combine this idea with the traditional Alpha Legion builds, with all the stall potential that the regular cards have. And yeah, I came up with this. So let's go very quickly. Infiltration, Seeds of Betrayal, we play Alpharius because we want to thin our opponent's deck. We'd have Legitimitatis, serious squads to make him draw. Then we have all the stuns, Alpha Noobs Veterans, Fortress Veterans, the instruments singular, 2 Lambda Thunderhawks plural. What else do we have? We have the Ghost Legionaries, just because we can make our opponent draw, so it would be a shame not to run these guys. We have Headhunter Squads, because our opponent is gonna have a handful, so these dudes are going to be they're going to have stealth, and so we will use them to trade off our opponent's board, if possible with a Fierce Onslaught. That would be awesome. We also have Original Score, of course, double harrowing, because our opponent's hand is going to be full if we get if survival until turn 9. 2 grounds, because it will be harder for our opponent to play cards if they have a lower amount of energy. Martial, because we always want to have some. No Pair Spear, because that's useless. No Sleeper Informant, because we don't want to kill our opponent with sheer damage. I mean, most of the time. We want to kill him via deck exhaustion. Yep, that's basically it. So, let's see the games that I picked for you. So first off is against Perturbal. And while this is a very easy matchup, I wanted to show you why Alpha Legion is such a hard matchup for Perturbal. So I'm going ahead with this hand. Of course I am forced to keep my secret identity, but that's no problem. I'm going to play that turn 1. Ghost Legionary will play that on turn 2, most likely. Or maybe on turn 4, when we can actually make our opponent draw a card, so that we can, if this thing has 4 attack, can get hit. And of many, because it's healing, and we need healing against Perturbal. Alright, so moving in. Tap back the Infiltration, which will be good for the combo later on. It's also a card I think you want to keep in Mulligan, at least in most matchups. So I just press my Hero Power. Yeah, I get a Ring Sight, which is very nice because it truly allows me to play the other thing on turn 2, coupled with my Hero Power. So that's what I go for. And we go to Ring Sight. So when you play this deck, or actually most of Alpha Legion's deck, yeah, I was about to say it's less true with the Serpent Squad build, but whatever. You need to expect your opponent to have all the answers he needs, just because you made him draw so many cards. So here it's not that much of a surprise that he has Melgator in his hand. Well, just because he had 3 cards in his opening hand, he discarded some, didn't check how many, when we made him draw, it's a card he wants, so yeah, there was a decent chance of that to happen. So now I think I kind of make a misplay here. I should probably go with the left middle veteran and delay the Ghost Legionary for another turn. But unfortunately I'm dumb and I play that, hoping that he doesn't have the superior firepower. But as I just said, I should expect my opponent to have it. That's also a card I guess you keep against Alpha Legion. So I really should have gone with these left middle veterans, but anyway. So another part of the combo comes in. It's good that we have them early. I had like Metal Storm, give Cleave 4 to a troop, draw 1 card for each friendly troop, or this. Might always just pick this, just because, well, stunning Perturbal means you take less damage to the face. It's always nice. He has the second superior firepower. I really don't mind. His Keizulin is not on my win condition. I drew him his Keizulin, so that's how I got mine. I really don't want to play this card. Maybe we could play this card in the deck. But I mean, there are not that many bad cards, and, well, actually, I would prefer to fit in some draw other than Zuben. So anyway, here I am, and I can finally play my one-off minis. Now I have time to do so. So I will just go through Firepower, because I really don't want him to draw to get another controller or whatever. So the matchup is so good for me that he can mostly win it by some strange bullshitting, and that's exactly why Kizuna is in his deck. So I just remove it. Right, so I'm off. He plays Ravage City. He shoots me in the face. That must happen, but it probably be the last time. We still have Aleph Null veterans. We have the Fortress veterans. We have 2 of them in our deck. 2 of Aleph Nulls. We have the instrument if necessary, and we also have double Lambda Thunderhawks, which we haven't played yet. So overall, yeah, we get a bit lucky here. His Void Engagement doesn't hit, and we're getting closer with the combo. We almost have every single part of it. So now I go for the stun, and I'm playing this dude, and here I'm like, okay, why not? Just generate trap. If it's another Seed of Betrayal, it's very nice. Now that I've played the deck a bit more, I kind of think that this was a mistake, because my hand is always going to be so full that I really don't want any other trap to cloak it. Because they're gonna come back in the infiltration, and therefore every trap that is not Seeds of Betrayal is going to cloak my hand. I really don't want that, so I guess I should never, ever do that. Alright, so now I have the one of many, number 2, I can just play it. Yeah, like an idiot, he didn't perfect, he used to. But like an idiot, I just generate another trap, and that's also a very bad idea. Very lucky for me I got Seeds of Betrayal, but like, I completely forgot that by doing that I was about to overdraw. I really don't want to overdraw. Yeah, so that was a big mistake. If I discard my second infiltration, I'm gonna be very sad. So, yeah, I should have just played the Hydra Dominatus and just hope he does it straight away. Straight up. This is a fine loss, I really don't mind losing that. I can go with the Secret Identity to draw first, and luckily for me, Infiltration was next. So I was very lucky here to draw it after I overdrew a card. And now I just go for it. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 now. Maybe I could have waited a turn, but I wasn't feeling that much of a hurry since I can always play Thunderhawk next turn. He's not loaded up here. So now I play 3 of the traps, so that makes it 6. And you see, I didn't play that Hydra Dominatus. Even Enemy Within probably wouldn't have done it. False Flag is always nice. But yeah, it's only False Flag and Seed of Betrayal. Hydra Dominatus and Enemy Within are actually bad trap. And see, if I hadn't generated it, it would have generated another Seed of Betrayal with my second infiltrated. But alright, so for the moment there are 7 in his deck. That means that if he draws 1, he's dead, because he takes it all the way to... So there are 7 cards that are not actually actual cards in his deck, so there are only 9 regular cards in his deck. So he will draw 21, so it will be 12 or even 13 points of damage. So yeah, so I just go with the 4 others. And here I'm kinda confident, because, well, he can't really kill me. I'm gonna stun him again and also heal. And now there are 11 cards in his deck that are wrong cards. So basically, every time he draws a card, he has a 1 in 2 chance to lose the game. Slightly more than that, actually, but let's not make it too complicated. So here I play Omegan, which is perfect. He gets stunned, I get healed. Here, he's being absolutely mad because he keeps on drawing, and that's absolute craziness. And here, he also keeps on drawing, and I'm not sure he knows what he's in for. So, I know this is bad to emote your opponent, but Omegan has a perfect line for this situation. And now that he has run 1 Seed of Betrayal, he just lost the game. So let's see just how much it takes, and that will be actually a lot more. So basically it was at 20 cards, so 9 regular cards, less even 7 because he drew 2 since we made that count. So he has 7 cards that are regular cards, and he draws 34 plus another at the beginning of his turn. So it's the sum of all entire numbers up to 34 minus 7, so all the way up to 27. So that's 27 times 13, and 27 times 13 is actually 27 times 30. 27 times 3 is 71, so that's 71 plus 270, so that's 341 points of damage. So we had lethal. Yeah, I'm not sure Megan's line showed up, but I think it goes. We're expecting it from that guy. I didn't know that you could actually save the lines during the replays. Just gonna say it one more time. So there it stops when we have lethal, and yeah, it stopped at 17, but I'm pretty sure we actually had a lot more damage. So yeah, that was the first game I wanted to show you guys. That was a regular burst deck. Now our deck isn't that great, it's not an awesome deck, just because we can get swarmed very easily. And I'm saying very easily, I mean really easily. But let's just put in another replay of a deck that is not a burst deck, that is actually not that bad of a deck, but simply one that wants to take control of the board and never run out of value. So this should be a harder match than the previous one, but I was thinking this should still be doable. Sorry. Well, because if my deck doesn't work in this matchup, when I say doesn't work, I mean if I don't have 100% win rate in this matchup, there is probably no reason to play it on ladder. So I just go with the Alpha Legionary. I could keep it up for later. I probably shouldn't have kept it in my opening hand, but I'm like, okay, since it's here, I might just use it now and deny him his turn too. So that's what I do. I will also deal 5 points of damage to him, but that truly doesn't matter. What mattered the most here was stopping him from putting one of these 3-drops that Storm has so many of. So that's what I did. Yeah, so here I punch, and his hand is already full. I steal a Feather River, which is acceptable. It has frontline at least. Goes for trade here, of course. Here I wanna fight for the board for as long as I can. I'm gonna run out of stuns at some point. I can't avoid that. So as long as troops do the same effect as stun, I might just as well use troops. And I copied Silent Death, which made me think that it would actually be a good include in the deck. I didn't do it because I'm not that good at drawing cards, and I kinda need my combo pieces, so I'm not entirely sure if this is really better than a draw, but maybe it is. It's probably better. So here he has a full hand, so playing Melgator on that thing actually destroys it, so why not just use that? Yeah. I go for the Seed of Betrayal. I could also go for the Dictation Inventarius, but I kinda want to have my combo as early as I can. So yeah, Lecture Inventarius is very nice, but it will only help me accelerate into autos. So now he drops the Fat Demon, and I'm being very lucky that he has Terrible Mutation. This is probably the worst one, alongside Terror and Flank. Ward would have been bad. Survivor 2 +1/+1 would have been bad. Plus or +2. The +3/+0, sorry, and the Rage would have been helpful, but actually not that bad. So here I'm really getting a frontline. I get rid of it as long as I can, because as I said previously, I just can't even stand forever. This Legionary comes in too late. That's a bit of a shame. I drop this dude, just hoping I can. Either it takes 5 energy for him to remove with Silent Death on his ward ability, and if he does that, then Harrowing should allow me to clean everything. Either I top deck the Battle of Connect again. Can't remember the name of that card. Well, doesn't matter. So here he has 2 mutates, and luckily for me he doesn't get any survivor. I assume they were just not proposed to him, because I really think he would have picked them. But here he has 2 attack things, and that's a bit hurtful, but at least it's no survivor. None of them were survivor or plus or plus will have actually been, well, hurtful, but not that much because the damage I take by swinging here is almost the same as the plus 3 here. So I just go harrowing here, cleaning his entire board what I can, and of course he can still refill it because we basically just filled his hand. So this is absolutely normal that he can refill his board right after harrowing, but we don't want to win with harrowing straight. So now I had a couple options here. I could go for something very, okay, let me try and get that board. I can go for Chaos Fury, Fortune's Veteran, or Martial. I'll be like, okay, this is my last time, this is the last time I can fight for the board, so let's do it. Oh, let's do it now. But actually, when you think about it, what it would have just lured these 2 into attacking somewhere else than my face, which is nice, but not that great. And also the Fortune's Veteran will be a stun for later on that I want to save. Secondly, I could just go for full healing, like make him draw a card, play Secret Twin and One of Many, and that would also be a rather acceptable idea. But here my point is, well, I can put 4 of these things into his deck. 4 Seeds of Betrayal. And if I do that, well, he had 13 cards, that means he's gonna draw 1 plus the 4. So he's going to draw his entire deck, discard many cards, and the moment I draw into the second Harrowing or Children's Core or just the other Seed of Betrayal, I basically win the game. So there are 3 top decks that give me a free win in my deck, and most of the other cards are still good cards. So by doing that, I feel like, well, I'm just putting him in there that win condition early on, so I'm not risking it all on the last turn, where it's either I overtake him or he kills me. This is not a spot I'm comfortable being in, of course. Yeah, that's basically it. So okay, sorry for that long explanation, let's just move on. So I play the first infiltration first, get my Seeds of Betrayal, so it's infiltration but just for 1 trap. Does that make it an acceptable card, an acceptable mechanic? I still don't think so. But anyway, since it exists, we're trying to use it in different ways than others. Maybe more ethical, if I dare to say. It's still kind of dirty, but maybe not just as dirty as regular trap build, who rely on making your opponents draw false flags to stun them and buy your time. Here we're playing on Thunderdogs, which is more regular. You can at least play around it, it's not completely random. So also go for the One of Many, because my secret identity might come in useful for later on, and because my Secret Twin has its cost decreased by 1 each and every turn. So we might as well just save it for later on when it's actually cheaper. Okay, so here there is a poor positioning, I think, for my opponents. Not entirely sure of what he played around, but probably not over the instrument. These things should have been here or in the middle. Yeah, either the 5-4 and the 4-6 swap, either the 5-4 and the 4-2 swap. Something like that. Anyway. So here I drop Martial just because I might use an extra point of energy next turn, why not? And there goes the first Seed of Betrayal. So this is not lethal. He should load his entire deck, but not take too much fatigue. So there will still be this phase of, well, I kind of need to hold on for a couple more turns. Drive the finish, Hordes of the Abyss, you know that stuff. Every time I play demons, I say things like that. Anyway, here I go with the stunning. I like stunning this guy without dealing any kind of damage to him. Well, I have the flank here, which I kind of like. Getting rid of the photo, that's nice, so I don't need to waste a stun on it. I really don't mind adding more trip into his hand, because in case he doesn't draw any other Seeds of Betrayal, which is possible. There are only 3 of them in his deck. I mean, I still want my Harrowing to be able to clean the entire board. So I kind of prefer to not do damage to this, well, because if at some point I need to leave something unstunned, then I would rather have it have only 5 attack rather than 7, right? So now I'm lucky enough to tap deck Lycio Divitatis, which allows me to play my Fortune's Veteran with another stun. And Seeds of Betrayal is also very nice. That should be the final lane in his coffin. Yeah, that was a very good top deck for me. Only 10 cards left, but still very good. So here I can get rid of most of his stuff. I'm still going with my idea of filling his hand. So this is not an ordering misplay. I really want his hand to be full in case I draw Harrowing next turn. Or what you don't go into Harrowing or whatever. Yeah, I played the last Seeds of Betrayal, and now there are still 4 in his deck. So 7 regular cards, so it's only 3 points of fatigue. Actually +1 because he's gonna draw, +3 because he's gonna draw a card at the beginning of his turn. So that's only 6 points of damage. But again, I can still have the Harrowing. But he didn't count that, he just conceded right away. And that's a mistake, I think. Well, because he's not that low, I can't really kill him. My hand is absolutely empty. And if I don't draw into Harrowing or Alternate Score, I might actually be in trouble. But I can still, I think, get another turn by just playing a Secret Twin and like copying a front line and then playing it. Or maybe just turn another front line. I don't know exactly. But it could have probably developed a wall that should be near lethal. Yeah, you could probably set up lethal that turn. Not entirely sure, but yeah. Anyway, but these were the games. Very quickly, let me be honest with you. I lost 3 of the 5 games I played, but let me explain quickly why. Because this will highlight the weakness of my deck. So here what happened is that Paravat was able to play troops each and every turn. That's only fair because I gave him cards, so he has cards basically. So it's no big issue that he actually has the cards he put in his deck for this exact situation, you know. And also my list wasn't really optimal at that point. I was still running Sleeper Operative. Not Sleeper Operative, but like the 1/3 that deal damage to the enemy warlord every time they draw a card. And I really think if that thing had been a Furious Onslaught, I really need to remember Fierce Onslaught, sorry. If that thing had been the Fierce Onslaught, I would have won this game, so I wasn't running that card at that time, I was running this Sleeper Operative. So yeah, so if I had a better deck, I would have won this game. And also at the very end, he had like 2 chances of drawing a Seed of Betrayal that would have been lethal. And well, he succeeded in this final 50-50, so he won the game. Here against the Crow, well, she was running the double of Awful Silence plus Orders from Terra combo, so against deck with that much burst, 1 point, I can't really stand them each and every turn, and the Qual just puts you under too much pressure, especially if you give her a card. Would have won if she wasn't playing that much burst, but I don't think you should. Probably it's suboptimal. You should do that, but with that build with 35 HP Warlord, but not with Qual. So I lost that game, and against Philip Palmore, he just swarmed the ball with Solar Auxilia card, and there was nothing I can do. So yeah, the deck is still weak to heavy ball control deck, but it's surely a funny one for you. Probably not for your opponent, because all you do is stall and try and forbid him to play his cards all the way until you can OTK him, so that's not interactive at all. This is not fun, but this is still slightly better than a regular full trap deck, I believe. They're still running regular studies like the Ghost Legionaries, the Fortress Veterans. I mean, all these cards, they either stun your opponent or they are stealth. Nah. Anyway, guys, I thank you for watching. Tomorrow's Legion, we're getting close to the end, damn, will be... well, it will be Sisters of Silence. Not my favorite one to play. I kind of want to keep the Agent of Sigilite for the last day, so I think we're gonna go with this, Sisters of Silence tomorrow, then Emperor's Children, and then the Agent of the Sigilite, and I think that we are done after that. So anyway, thank you a lot for watching. Tomorrow, Sisters of Silence. Please take care of yourselves, and I see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to vote in the comments for either Kroll, Kendall, or Sulaf. Thank you guys, take care.